If fate really were a thing, it would be a bloody funny looking one. I'm still Hal Sinden, and I work amongst a particularly erect and talented bunch of sartorially aware musical dandies known as TALANAS. I'm gonna have a sit down. If you're watching this, it's most likely that you either know me personally, in some cases biblically, or chronically, not without medical attention. In any case, you'll know that whilst I'm no stranger to the world of metal as a form of music, I'm by no means an orthodox member of its community. I was never really into the classics that most other metalheads had as a gateway drug to proper heaviness. It was rarely ever 2 minutes for midnight for me, nor was I ever the person for whom the bell tolled.
What's your excuse?
And as much as I was raised on Led Zeppelin as I was Liszt, I circumvented the denim and acne stage, went straight past Go without picking up 200, and dove with perfect pre-Raphaelite poise into the murky, self-important waters of goth. Explains a lot, doesn't it? In 1994, when I was 14 years old, I was perusing a central London branch of HMV, with the most honest of intentions, during a particularly tiresome double physics lesson which was still going on back at the school I was attending in northwest London. There was a certain CD that caught my eye due to its likeness in style to the Fields of the Nephilim albums I so adored. I acquired it as soon as I could on the strength of the artwork alone. The album was this one, As the Flower Withers by My Dying Bride. The artwork in particular was done by Dave McKean, who was arguably most famous at the time for his collaboration with Neil Gaiman on the Sandman comics. When I got the album back to school and finally listened to it, my tiny, short-haired mind was completely blown away. I had no idea that humans could make sounds like that, let alone sing like that. And so began my journey into extreme metal, with My Dying Bride's first album as my template for basically how to be heavy and how to sound anyway good. But to cut a very long story kind of short, in just under 3 weeks my band TALANAS will be touring the entirety of Europe with the band that got me into the genre of music that I spent the majority of my life pursuing, instigating and managing a career within. But loath as I am to appear like I'm bragging about this, I'm simply wanting to point out how incredibly important it is to me, and how tangibly squirbled my brain is when I think about it. If you were to go back in time and find the 14-year-old me and tell him that not only would I be sharing the same stage as this band, but also throughout the entirety of the continent, I'd most likely reply with something along the lines of, "No, I won't. And how have you managed time travel?" Now all that's left is to tour the world's oldest castles with Fields of the Nephilim, appear in my very own film production of Othello and Playgirl respectively, and finally make my rightful claim as the copyright owner for the word marvellous. Nevertheless, whilst I would love to paint an entirely rosy picture of everything that's ahead, I have to be honest and say that the music industry is not in the fittest of states. It is currently limping about not unlike a drunken three-legged spider that's just been kicked in all 406 of its nuts. But wait, don't go. I'm not going to start slinging guilt around in some pseudo-political rant. Believe me, if I'd wanted to do that, this video really would look very different. The sad truth of the matter is that touring is just bloody expensive for everyone involved. Any help is really, really appreciated, whether that's a case of reposting content that can be found on our website or Facebook page, or organising for Keira Knightley to airlift lobster thermidor into each of the dressing rooms we're performing in, dressed only in a Givenchy belt. Or alternatively, you could just turn up to the dates that we've booked, which are currently scrolling across your screen. This is either for the Progressive Decay Tour that we'll be headlining throughout the UK with Spires, or for the Tour of All Our Failures with My Dying Bride throughout Europe. However, the sweetener to the deal is that finally we have some new material for you. Last year, I alluded to going back into the studio after all the series of gigs that we did in the tour with Spires to finish off the follow-up to the 2011's The Wasp Keeper. We did do that. However, of course, we had to cut things short when we got the offer for the My Dying Bride tour, but not without having a chance to record 2 of the tracks that are going to be appearing in our new album called Daylight. These will be on offer to everyone as a 7-inch vinyl. These records will be done on an extremely limited press. Each one will be individually numbered and will only be available at our merch desk at each of the gigs that we've listed. These will also be available in the video description below. The artwork for the piece was done by Dave McKean, yes, he of the My Dying Bride artwork fame, and therefore in some ways kind of responsible for all of this. Also available on each record will be a unique download code allowing you to get both of the tracks as high quality MP3s, and also we're chucking in some behind the scenes video footage. There, look, I've managed to get through an entire blog without blurting out any extreme views. It's all been rather pleasant and I've not offended anyone.